Hey everybody, thank you so much for your patience. Woo! I almost had to reschedule these for today. It's my kids' last day of the year and all their assignments are due, and Zoe needed a little help, so that has to come first. So thank you for your patience. Welcome in. So I'll be with you until 3 p.m. today, and then we have class from 4 to 6, session 1 of June, which I'm super looking forward to. Make sure you've taken a look at your worksheets before class. You don't have to fill them out, but it's nice if you've had a gander so that you know what we're talking about. It's great to see you. Welcome in, everybody. So I'm going to ask my spirit guides to help me be a good, clear, and open channel for all the goodness that wants to come through today. I'm going to ask your spirit guides to help me too with access to your field. I'm going to ask that only wisdom and information in service of your highest good is allowed to come through today. And I want to give thanks for wisdom and information and insight that's already on its way. Those, by the way, in the background are your tools for July. I'm going to be coming live to you, if not this evening, probably tomorrow for a few minutes to show you your July Soul Shifting Crystal Masters tools. Aw, thanks you guys. Okay, so you ready? Let's dive right in with no further ado. All right, Tiffany Clark says, I would love my very first reading. Oh, that's wonderful. If you feel called, let's go. So this is for Tiffany. Tiffany, I'm working with 2 different decks today. One is called Soul Truth by Brianne Hovey. This is kind of what I let them choose. My spirit guides led me to this one. And then The Oracle of the 7 Energies by Colette Baron Reed is a newer deck for me. So we'll see. I like Colette Baron Reed. I like her personality. I like her videos. I think I don't know her, but she looks fun to me. So Tiffany, I'm pulling for you from the Soul Truth deck, and I'll just kind of go back and forth as my intuition guides me. So this is for Tiffany. This is a good one. Where can I ask for more help in my life? I'm not good at that. I'm good at asking for help. I'm getting better at it. I was raised that you do things yourself. You don't bother people or, make yourself a nuisance. So this is how I was raised. It says, until we can receive with an open heart, we're never really giving with an open heart. When we attach judgment to receiving help, which I've done in the past, we knowingly or unknowingly attach judgment to giving help. Isn't that interesting? So the mantra is, I ask for what I want and I'm open to receiving it. Tiffany, they're talking about disappointment. Have you been disappointed? That's what the spirit guides are talking about. Like maybe you did ask for help and didn't turn out how you wanted it or needed it. So it's time to lean in with faith again, is what the spirit guides are saying. And I know what that's like. Like if I ask for help and I don't get it, then I don't ask anymore. You know what I mean? Like, tried that, didn't work, moving on, but we have to keep trying. And there's some energy around you of keeping trying. And keeping that open perspective. I mean, I think that's the biggest part of spiritual growth, is being open to try again when we're disappointed or when we're hurt or when something doesn't go to plan, right? Maybe this time you'll be delightfully surprised. And always being open to surprise is really important too. Yeah, I get it. I do. I mean, I keep it real. I know what that struggle's like. My little Hummer's right there. He's coming and flapping his little flappers for you. Okay. Woo! Is it Jimmy? Yeah, I see you. All right, Jax. Hold on. Jax says, I would love a reading, please. What do I need to know right now? It's the most powerful question you can sit with. What do I need to know right now? So let's see what's coming up for you for Jax. Well, this is a great one for being in that new moon window. If you missed my new moon ceremony last night, it's on YouTube. And for those of you who were there, it was really nice to have you. It's always nice to have our core community. I know not everybody can make it, so please don't ever feel pressured, but I'm always there holding space on the new moons if you ever do want to do ceremony with me. And this was kind of one of the themes of last night, because a new moon in Gemini is inviting you to articulate, right, what you want. So are you clear about it? It says, take out the shoulds and the limitations, get out of your head and pay attention to your heart's desires. If you knew it was impossible to fail, what would you do? And where would you go with all your heart? It's a hummingbird fight. Ask yourself what it is that your soul really wants, and then take one step in that direction. Today's the day. I mean, there's really 1 to 2 days a month when we can really sit and go, you know what, universe, I would really like this, and say it or write it down. Now let me tell you what's coming through from Spirit. You need to do that. That's what they're saying. And be more clear. Are you not being clear about what you want? How you are articulating is as important as what you articulate, says Spirit. It's the how, right? And sometimes if you're not exactly sure how you want it to happen, you can leave that space for universe to, or source, or creator, however you, God, whatever it is you call that thing, that source vibration. You can leave space for that. You can say, I think I want this, and then leave it open to Spirit for how it will come through. You don't have to be pressured to know every single detail. But there is something that wants to come through you, Jax. You got to create space for it. I liken it to, because I'm out in nature all the time, and I like to watch animals. I'm an animal person. I love all animals. And I like to watch birds in their nests. Right now I've got a very protective mama bird, not a hummingbird. And she's with her babies. She's actually right behind my crystal room up in the rafters. And, when I see birds with their nests, what I think about is they're creating a home for the future, right? They're creating a home for what is wanting to come through. And a lot of us have not gotten good at yet making a home for what wants to come through us. But there is something that wants to come through you this year, Jack. Spirit guides are saying June 2023 is the completion of this cycle. So that's exactly 2 years from now. And 2 years is a pretty big cycle in Spirit time, because lunar cycles are 28 days, right? So that's a much bigger cycle that it seems to want to be unfolding for you. Dinosaur? If I said dinosaur, I didn't mean to. Although if you think of your creator as a dinosaur, what does that mean? It's great to see you. Hi, Jeanette. Okay, Bluebird wild card. Just remind me of your first name, Bluebird, if you can, and then I'd be happy to come back and read for you. I do need to tap into whatever name has the deepest resonance for you, but when I read for you, I do say your name 3 times. So if your handle does not have your first name, when you ask for a reading, would you please include your proper first name so that I can, or whatever name you go by. I mean, I know a lot of people in our community who go by nicknames and things like that, so it doesn't have to be your actual first name, but I need a name. Yeah, thank you for that, Christina. Christina. There we go. You wouldn't believe, maybe you would, because a lot of you are psychic. Like, as soon as I have a name, it's like, shoo, the energy just, like, takes you down that, because your name is so, like, connected to the core essence of you. It's amazing how, like, the name, I almost feel like I fall into your energy as soon as I say your name out loud. Boundaries are on the menu. One of my favorite dishes. What boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships? Oh, hey. Hey, girl, hey. To create healthy boundaries, we must first get in tune with our own needs, desires, feelings, and believe that we are worthy of them, right? In your relationships, it's essential to know where others end and you begin. So the mantra is, I have everything I need within me, and so do they. I am worthy of my needs, and I set boundaries based on what's best for me. Are you tired? And the spirits are talking about tired and tired. It's too much going out and not enough coming in, Christina. That's what they're saying. Can you take some time for you? Why do I feel like I want to cry? Yeah. Like if you were here, I would puff up those pillows and brew you some nice herbal tea and, you know, rub your shoulders. That's really how I feel in your energy field. It's like I just want to create a nest for you, you know? But you can create a nest for yourself, but it's important for you. Are you overwhelmed and tired? Yeah. You know? Sometimes we have to do for ourselves what people who love us would do for us. You know what I mean? I call it self-mothering. I really do. There are times where I stop. You're building a new house. Well, that's part of why you're so tired. Honestly, it may sound funny to you. I have never done a remodel. I mean, other than the Sage Goddess building, which, holy shit, that's been a nightmare. That's a story for another time. But I always tell Dave, like, I don't want to build anything because I'd like to stay married to you. Like, I just think the process of building anything or remodeling anything is so stressful. I want rest for you. Even just a few hours of, like, really good quality rest. And you know what that looks like for you, but I want that for you because you need to put some water back in your well. It's a lot going out and not enough coming in. And the universe supports that for you, so create the space, you know? It's really important. I need to take a dose of my own medicine, but I am going to rest this weekend. I'm very tired today. You know what I mean? So, bless you. Let's see, I'm going back up in the feed. Lisa, Cleopa, please ask my spirit team for guidance, thank you. With all her little pretty butterflies. Hi, Lisa. It's nice to see you today. Thank you for being here. It's a nice vibe today. Thank you guys for bringing the energy. I always appreciate you. Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. This is a great card, too. The spirit guides want me to switch decks after this. Just so you know. Okay. So I think I was meant to pull this for you, Lisa. What is the most limiting belief keeping me from what I want right now? What story are you telling yourself? We're going to talk about stories today in class. When you think about your dreams, what is the first limiting thought that comes to mind? If you're not living the life you desire, it's because part of you doesn't believe it's possible. Is that true for you? It's true for me. So it says, it's time to upgrade. Look your beliefs in the eye. Where did they come from? What new beliefs are you ready to adopt in their place? And how will this change the results? What's holding you back? Right? Spirit guides say past life. There's something from a past life that's unresolved. Let me listen for a sec. Relating to mothering. There's some kind of motherhood energy around you, and it's related to a limiting belief about what's possible or not possible in your life. Did you have that challenge with your mom? A lot of what I think is possible for me or impossible for me, as the case may be, is based on my parental relationships. My parents were just like walking limited beliefs. Everything scared my mom, and everything scared my dad. Different things scared them, but they raised us to be scared people. I don't blame them for that, but it's just I'm aware of it. So I've had to spend the better part of the last 30 years trying to overcome fears, especially irrational ones that are rooted in stories that aren't true, you know? So I think this is an opportunity for you, Lisa, to take sort of a belief inventory. You know what I mean? Go through. I used to do this as a coach. I would ask people to write down. So what are the let's do 3. What are the top 3 core beliefs you have that run your world? And you might say, well, I don't know. How do I find that out? What are your values, right? What's really important to you? What are the things that you know to be true and most important in your life? And then can you see any place where that belief or value has created a limitation? That's one place to begin. Sometimes we don't know what we believe, you know what I mean? Or our beliefs get, like, the last year has kind of changed some of my beliefs about what I believe to be true. Just because of what we've been through as a planet and a global community, and I've seen a lot of things that have kind of shifted my perspective. If that's interesting. Cecilia, she said, I would love a reading regarding moving to Florida in 2 to 4 years with my mom. Florida seems so much more you. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like Texas. Certain parts of Texas really speak to my soul. They really do. I love me some Houston. I just do. For example, she said, I'm also wanting to open a spiritual retreat space in Puerto Rico. Keep going back and forth. Wow. Yes, please. Can you do it now? Cecilia. Yes, please. What's holding you back? This is an interesting card. Oh, actually, I'm supposed to change decks. My guides are like, other deck. Sorry, Cecilia. You know, I don't always listen very well. It's not my strength. Cecilia. I haven't pulled cards for you from this deck before, so that's new. I hope you like it. It's kind of a cool deck. But bear with me because it is new to me. Check it out. Into me, I see. Isn't she beautiful? At certain precious moments, you're called into a deep and meaningful connection with the world or another person, with the kind of intimacy that in turn encourages a greater understanding of yourself. This relationship acts as a mirror, helping you see your own patterns. It is time to take a risk by connecting with another. Intimate relationships hold up a mirror of truth and reveal more treasures than you might expect. This concept applies beyond romantic partnerships to close friendships, work relationships, and family. Here's what's coming through, Cecilia. You're in the very early stages of this development. The spirit guides are staying, which is good. Everything big starts somewhere, right? Sage Goddess was a new moon intention 11 years ago, right? Got to start somewhere. This, whatever you're going to do is going to be a partnership. And some of the people that are in your life now could be good partners for this. I think there's someone that you will connect with at a later time. When will that be? 24 to 48 months from now. You're going to encounter someone. You'll start whatever you're going to do before then, but this, you'll be traveling when you meet this person outside the U.S. Although they're saying it could be Puerto Rico, which is in the U.S. It could still be outside the U.S. They're showing me like around Puerto Rico. They're showing me Dominican Republic. They're showing me Cuba. They're showing me a map. I can see Puerto Rico. I can see Dominican Republic. I can see Cuba. And Florida, like the bottom of the point of Florida, like where the Keys are. That whole region seems really important. In fact, they're almost drawing like a map. Like north, south, east, west, where I can see all the... So there's somebody who's going to be very important for you for this. And you haven't met them yet. But that's exciting, isn't it? And I will come. When you invite me, I will come. You're going to visit MJ in August? Feels like a good opening, doesn't it? Lionsgate time. You going around the beginning? Be really I've got chills all over. Are you going at Lionsgate? Try to go at Lionsgate. Lionsgate is going to be big this year. I have just had that download a couple times in meditation. The Lionsgate portal is always big, especially for those of us who have, fire energy, but this year in particular. All right, Liliana. Hi, Liliana. Liliana M. If called to my name, I would love a message. Liliana. Feels good to say your name. Rolls on your tongue. That's a beautiful card. I think this deck is absolutely stunning. This is number 30. Shining Through. It's pretty, isn't it? It says, you're being called to step into your true power and essence. This is one of those times when you're required to bring everything you are and offer it up in service to the world. It's really what we're focusing on in alchemy right now. When you take center stage, you will be noticed. And as you shine brightly, you will stand apart from others. This may bring up excitement or discomfort, but this is not the time to make yourself so small in order to avoid the glare of the spotlight. Who are you not to shine? All you are and all you have become is by the grace of the divine, and now it's your duty to share your gifts. You should celebrate this. You know what Spirit's asking me to ask you? What are you not doing that you want to do, and why? There's something you want to be doing and you're not doing it. Spirit is saying they have talked to you about this. Maybe in your dreams or through other people, but whatever this is, it's like, it feels like you're postponing or you're procrastinating or like, I'm not sure. Maybe you think you don't want it anymore. Because this is something that's been on your heart. It's time. A lot of people are afraid to bring their soul gifts forward. And I'll tell you something, as somebody who has done it for a decade in the public eye, it is something to consider, because people feel when you do things in a public way, people feel like it's their right and obligation to have really strong feelings about it and tell you about that all the time. I have a thick skin, and I also just give two shits kind of what other people think, so it doesn't really matter to me. But if you're someone who's sensitive and you want to do things in the public eye, you gotta really put your turtle shell on. I don't know if that's what it is for you. But at the same time, for me, my son's in the 10th house. I know for sure I'm meant to be doing things in a public way. And so there's just sometimes you can't deny that call, Yeah, Jimmy, thank you for that. Yeah. Okay. Elizabeth Mitchell, I have so many questions. I would like Spirit to give me insight if this is the time for answers. I am giving permission. I like that. Elizabeth. I think a lot of you are going to really like this card. I'm so into this deck right now. I'm looking forward to getting it to know it better. Look at the art. Beautiful uncaging. Let me out of my cage. At this time, you're being called to assess where guilt is playing a part in your life, recognize how it's affecting you and others, and address it so you can release yourself from its grip. Guilt is a powerful emotional state capable of transforming difficult situations. It keeps you accountable for your actions when you've done something that causes harm. However, it can also feed a self-sabotaging cycle that creates codependency and a distorted sense of personal power. Right? Take a moment now to consider how accurate this is for you. Now is the time for rigorous honesty. You might be carrying a burden that's not even yours. Is that true? Whoop! It's time to uncage yourself from the prison of your own making. It's an interesting question from the spirit guides. They're asking, what are you What are you bound to? I don't think they've ever asked me that question before. We're all bound to things. This is what I'm hearing for you. We're all bound to things. What are you bound to? And have you checked it recently? Like, am I really bound to that? Am I really bound to that person or that idea or that, it's like a reevaluation around you is what I feel, what I sense from the spirit guides. What are you bound to? That's going to answer a lot of your questions, they're saying. Because it's like this is what I'm sensing. You've made commitments to people and to things and to ideas and to processes and everything else, but some of them are just not serving you. And do you feel guilty about that? You know, it's like at some point we have to not feel guilty and we have to decide, okay, I'm only going to stay bound, stay connected, stay aligned with frequencies that really are supporting my highest good. And that can mean changes in relationships. That can mean changes in every aspect of our lives. Pretty deep, right? Yep. Yeah, it's a new deck for me, guys. This is called, and I'm into it, this is Colette Baron Reid. I don't know if you subscribe to her on YouTube. I do, and I just like her. I like women my age who are fun. There's not a lot of them. A lot of them are real stodgy, even in the metaphysical community. There are some people, and I will never name names, but there are some people in the metaphysical community who are well known, and I go to watch their videos, and I have to shut them off because I just get so bored. I have ADHD, so to hold my attention, like everything, the tone of voice and the passion and the knowledge and everything has to be on point. And I like her videos. So, and yeah, she and her hubby are cute together. Like I said, I don't know her, but I like her. Yeah. So that's a good one. Okay. Where are we going, Spirit? Thank you for that, Maruta. I really appreciate it. Janice, so that's really funny. All right, Cynthia Coutre. Would appreciate a reading. Is there anything important that I need to know? Let's take a look. Spirit never says no. Have you noticed? No, you're good. They don't. There's always something in the field. At least that's been my experience. Cynthia. The art is just crazy on these cards. It's so darn cool. So this is the Merry Motive. A merry motive. You've chosen a path, you've set an intention, and you've begun to move toward a goal. You feel compelled to keep going, but do you know the why behind this drive? Do you truly want what you're pursuing? Are you noticing a theme today? Do you really want what you're pursuing, or are you chasing a destination with the anticipation of how it will make others feel about you, or how it will make you feel about yourself? You must choose to be in the flow of the experience, relishing the moment. Trust the universe will provide the outcome that's a perfect match for your intention, because it always does. Isn't that true? You know what's coming through for you, Cynthia? Spirit guides are saying, sometimes it is all about you. You know how we always say, it's not all about you, it's not about you. Sometimes it actually is all about you. Not just you, but like all of you. Right? Because you are that important to the universe, right? So sometimes it really is just about you and not about anybody else. It is time to, first of all, hold on. They're saying it's time to decide what you want, and it's time to stop choosing things that you don't want. And you're doing this subconsciously. Do you know that? How do we do that subconsciously? Yeah. It's actually the most common thing that we do, is make subconscious choices about things that we don't want, because we focus on them and give them too much energy and time. And we don't realize, you know how they say pay attention? That's because you really do pay attention. when you give attention to something or someone for an extended period of time, like more than a minute, you are literally paying it to stay in your field. That's why, like, if something bothers me or someone bothers me or something happens, I give it maybe 10 seconds. And I literally will not pay any more attention to it because all I do is put a big spotlight on it, right? What are you paying attention to? And do you want it? This is where you got to train your brain. Are you working on that in therapy right now? It's interesting. All right, hold on. Spirit's like, go back up, go back up. Where are we going? Chrissy Whistler. Hi, Chrissy. Yesterday was Grandma Emma's birthday. Happy birthday in heaven, Grandma Emma. I feel like you're up there watching all of us and laughing at us, laughing with us, maybe. Grandma Emma gets to come and hang out in my crystal room now. She said, I'm being guided to honor her and my maternal line on my camping trip to Mount Shasta. Of course you are. This feels big for healing. Is there something I should bring? It's not really a card pull so much as it's a question. Is there something she's supposed to bring? I think you have, Chrissy, but I don't want to assume. Have you been with me during classes when I've created Despacho? Despacho, Despacho. I think you need to make one. I'm pretty sure you've been with me because I've made them quite a few times over the years. A despacho is basically, I mean, it comes from the Karo shamanism tradition of basically taking all organic materials and burying it in the earth, right? And usually you have something that represents all the directions. Usually they put a little candy in to attract the spirits and some coca leaves. You can substitute bay leaves for that, and you can also write a little note. I feel like you're gonna write the names of your matrilineal and put that in the, maybe you write it on the leaves. Like maybe there's a bay leaf in there for each one of your ancestors, and you write her name. Can I just double check it with the pendulum? I love that she loved candy. Yeah, the pendulum says yes, yes, yes to a despacho. Mm-hmm. Good job. If you feel called to take a picture of it before you bury it, I would love to see it. And if you don't feel called to take a picture of it, don't do that. But only if you do feel called. Okay. There's that little hummer, always on that same branch. Rebecca DeRocha would like some guidance for this eclipse season. It's intense, isn't it? But it's showing you what you need to see about people. Eclipses do that for me. They show me the truth of who people are. And I used to resist it, but now I would rather know. You know who people are? Rebecca. This is a beautiful card. Okay, number 43. Spirit gratitude. Isn't it pretty, that little lotus coming out of the, it's the top of their head. Oh, it looks like a cup. It says, in prayer we connect directly to our higher power. It's a way for us to be in communion with the divine, a reminder that our lives are a sacred conversation we are continuously engaged in. Prayer lets us know we're not alone. The kind of prayer that will prosper you and others today is one of deep, abiding gratitude. You'll become a magnet for miracles when you're grateful and asked to be a channel for divine purpose, divine abundance, love, and compassion. I like that. Well, you know, shadow work is the process of becoming grateful for the things you don't like. In fact, that's kind of a great working definition of shadow work, don't you think? Becoming grateful for what you don't like. In yourself and in other people too, right? Making a list. They're talking about making a list of everything in you and around you that you find challenging or less than appetizing. And then in a second column, making another list where you write what about those things or those people sparks a sense of gratitude in you. That's a very different way of approaching shadow and eclipse work than most people do it. Most people go in and go, okay, you know, I'm being shown this stuff through the eclipse. I'm going to just accept it and, you know, deal with it. And it's like, but gratitude is a whole different energy stream. Gratitude goes beyond just accepting and dealing with it. Gratitude gets us into appreciation. Because remember, energetically, anything that you push away becomes even more strongly attracted to you, right? So when we want to release something, ultimately the best way to do that is to develop a sense of gratitude for its presence, which is counterintuitive. All right, Dr. Chris is here. She said, Athena, it would be great to receive some guidance if it's possible. Let's go see what's going on with you, Chris. There you are. Let's see what's coming up. Chris. It's 2 cards. I'm gonna go, oh. You know what's funny, Chris, is my finger got, as I was flipping through the book for the last card, my finger kind of stopped on this page. And I was like, oh, I wonder if anybody's going to pull this card. And then there you are. I love this. I don't know what it's about yet because it's new for me, but the art moved me. It says, The Royal You. Isn't it pretty? Look at that crown. It says, do you know what it means to express personal sovereignty in your life? It's about how you hold to your inner sense of worth and integrity, secure in your belief that you have a unique purpose. You're the ruler of your mind, and you're being invited now to consider what discipline you need to apply to your thoughts. Are they consistent with the values and beauty you intend for your life? Challenges in your life at this time, no matter how large or small, must be met with a measured response. Calm, intelligent leadership is called for now. Sovereigns know when to plan their battles, so stay out of unnecessary skirmishes and strategically wield your personal power. Lead from the heart, from your authenticity and integrity. You do this already with a lot of beauty, I think. I think where Spirit is trying to... Let me listen for just a second. Well, they're saying there are places that you do this better than others. They're like, well, she could work on owning her power in some contexts, and, you know, because in certain contexts you don't need to work on it, but in certain contexts they're saying you still have some work to do. Standing in your power is your birthright, right? And so owning that place is really important, especially right now. There are a lot of people who look up to you. This is what Spirit's saying for this. And so remember that when you choose how you respond and you choose how you move, you're doing that for yourself, but you're also setting an example for other people to follow. You know, and I know what that's like too. I'm the same way. So I always know, like, part of how I respond is for me, but a part of how I respond is also because I'm trying to model something for other people in my life. So I hope that's helpful. It's your birthright to stand in your power. And sometimes we stand in our power and then we feel guilty about it. You know what I mean? And it's like, no. I'm glad that resonated with you. Really, really glad. Okay, where am I going, Spirit? Yeah, if you're not going to take up your space now, when are you going to take up your space? Tomorrow or next year? Or, you know, I mean, there's no time like the present. Okay. All right, Melissa, thank you for that. I'd like a bit of guidance for decision making for the coming days. This Gemini moon has been all about decisions, you know? This or that, yes or no, in or out, right? So for Melissa. I wonder what this card's about. Time machine. I want to go on a time machine. I'm going to be journeying soon, which is exciting. I haven't journeyed, as most of you know, since December of 2019. Which is the longest I've ever gone without journeying, since I was in my 20s. So I'm very excited. I will keep you posted about that, because usually I bring back some good wisdom for the troops. This is the time machine card. Look at that. Feels like Alice in Wonderland, doesn't it? It says, we rely on stories we inherit from our ancestors, families, culture, and the world around us to construct a map of our reality. That's very true. As we develop new stories in life, we build on those old foundations. You have a magical map with which to navigate your current circumstances. Look to the past for answers. Ask yourself, in this situation, what can I learn from those who came before me? What traits can I emulate in order to move through this challenge with greater wisdom? Things can be awkward and uncomfortable as old pain is revealed and new solutions are attempted. The time is ripe for change, so keep going. Every step is important. One day you will remember how your beautiful new story was just around the corner from you then. So as you make decisions, you're being guided to also reflect on past decisions that you've made and decisions that have been made by your ancestors too. We're going to be talking a little bit about epigenetics today in class. So if this is interesting to you guys, I would really recommend, either coming to class today or just watching it later. It's recorded. Because so much of our story is not our story, right? And so as we make decisions and we think about things, we oftentimes will ask our spirit guides, or we'll ask angels, or we'll ask ascended masters, but we often don't think to ask our ancestors. What would you do if you were me in this situation? And let them speak through the different channels and different ways that the ancestors speak, right? Sometimes they speak directly to your being. Sometimes they speak by moving people around in your life. Sometimes ancestors will come through and speak through other family members too, in my experience. All of a sudden a cousin will call you and say something, and it's like, isn't that interesting, the timing of that? Looking to the past when seeking guidance for the future. Pretty neat, right? Oh, thank you for that, Judith Walters. What a cutie pie you are. She gave me a time check. Bless you for that. Have you been talking about a time machine, Jeanette Stiffer? I like that. Well, I'm going to do one more individual and then a collective. Is that okay? Because I can go a few minutes over. Sorry, my hummingbird distracts me. But I really love him. He started coming last week, and he just sits there on his little branch, like right outside my window. And it's always in class when I'm with you. He came during SGTV too, but he's always here during class. Seems like a good sign, doesn't it? Like doors opening. Yeah, thank you. I need to see and hear and connect, and finally can do that. Okay, where am I going, Spirit? Let's see. Megan Estramera. Hi, Megan. Would love guidance from her spirit guides, first timer. Well, that's cool. Spirit made me go up and find you. It's true. It's like, nope, keep going. Megan. What a cool card, too. I love that each one of you has summoned a different card, because it's helping me get to know this deck that I'm pretty into right now. So here's the card. It's called the Oracle's Gift. Super pretty. Look at that. I want to find shit like that in my tea. When we ask for a sign from the universe, we are essentially asking for divine guidance that we believe needs to come from a source outside of us. Isn't that true? Oracles show up in a myriad of ways. Sometimes you see a billboard, or you hear a song, or you pull an oracle card. Today, trust in your own capacity to know what's right, to tune into source, and also be able to read the signs reflecting what is true and real within you. Let this oracle give you the gift of knowing that you are indeed on the right track. Here's your mantra. The light within me creates miracles in my life. It is true. A lot of times we give our power away. And that's one of the things I'm constantly trying to remind you guys, right? Like, your intuition is always accurate and should be trusted above the wisdom of any other human. So here's what I'm hearing for you. There are other psychic gifts that you have not developed yet that they're trying to cultivate within you. So that's the first thing to know. You might, over the next year, they're saying, start to receive wisdom in new ways. Like if you're clairvoyant, maybe you're going to start hearing more. Or if you're clairaudient, maybe you're going to start seeing more. If you're clairsentient, you might start, sensing more, whatever it is. Okay, hold on. There's someone in your family who needs your help right now. Does not feel distant family. Feels like a female member of the family. Somebody you just need to talk to. They may not come to you. You need to use your gift of discernment to know they could really benefit from talking to you. This feels like an older female relative that's telling me this. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? It feels like what it feels like is like maybe a grandmother who's like, hey, while you've got her attention, could you just tell her to talk to Barbara or whatever, I don't think it's a Barbara, but it feels like there's someone on the other side wants you to help someone who's here. That doesn't happen very often, so we'll just say thank you for that wisdom. Remember how psychic you are, and you're going to be called upon to use your gifts for people you don't know, but maybe once in a while for people you do know too. The Oracle's gift. If they're not super open to you at first, don't take that as a sign that you're not meant to help them. Feels like somebody who may not even know they need the help, but they do. Okay, collective card, you ready? Got the power! You're gonna get that song stuck in my head. You're very welcome. You have a wise woman on the other side who's looking out for you. You inherit some of your gifts from her. Yeah. All right, collective card for everybody who's in Soul Shift, everybody who's watching now, anybody who will watch later. For Soul Shift, to guide our work together in this first week of June, second week of June, as we come into it here. What a great new moon card, because that's when we do our releasing work. This is number 49. Here it is. Willing release. Some days you have to let go of your struggle to find an answer. Oh my God, is that true? And focus on something else for a while. This doesn't mean giving up altogether or losing anything. There is a divine plan for each of us. When acting on this faith, you may find that your intense desire for something translates into a feeling of attachment and entitlement. Right now, can you immerse yourself in this experience and allow the divine plan to unfold without your interference? You have to put in the work, define your desires, and feel them deeply, and engage your higher power. Now you have to let go and see what transpires. This isn't always easy. Impatience erodes the foundations of trust in the divine. Surrendering truly will serve your highest good. Knowing this truth in your heart will make this not so difficult. right? So all those intentions you set yesterday, now you have to release them and let them go and completely release attachment to the outcomes, yeah? And let universe provide. Right? And then just trust and allow. What I'm hearing from Spirit for us is really try this for the month or two ahead. Remember, when you're in an eclipse corridor, like we've been in, right? We just had our solar eclipse. At the last full moon, we had a lunar eclipse, right? When you're in these eclipse corridors, you've got retrograde planetary activity happening. There isn't that much you can do anyway. It's kind of a stay still period. You know, the Hanged Man in the major arcana of the tarot, that's kind of what the energy of this moment is like. It won't be like that for long, right? Mercury goes direct June 22nd. But in the meantime, this is all an opportunity for us to not expand outward, but actually reflect inward and make sure that everything from the past year has been reconciled, so that when there is a lot of forward momentum, we can do that in a clear way, right? But the releasing of anxiety, which, like I said, we're going to be talking about this quite a bit in class today. The releasing of anxiety is the thing. When you remember that you don't have control anyway, this gets easier. You don't have control anyway of anything. Any sense of control we have is really a perception, at least in my experience. So all you can do is set an intention and then trust the process. That's literally the only thing you can do. It feels simple, right? I can get you the retrograde chart. We're actually going to be studying retrogrades in July soul shift. Did you know that? So in June, we're looking at the returns, the Saturn return, for example. In July, I'm going to be teaching you about retrogrades and what they mean, both for the collective and also for you individually. And that's not something I've ever taught before. But we have a lot of retrograde activity happening in July, and I thought that's an interesting, little area ground to cover in soul shift. So that's what we're doing. I'm glad that was helpful for you. So thank you for being here. I want to thank your spirit guides for letting me in. I want to thank my spirit guides for helping me be a good channel. And we give thanks for wisdom that came through today. Pay attention to your dreams. More and more information may come through that way too. And we give thanks for wisdom already on its way. I know. I'm glad you're excited. All right. Mwah. Go have a nice 50 minutes until I see you at the top of the hour at 4 p.m. Pacific time for class. And I'll be with you until 6 o'clock tonight. And I can't wait. So thank you for being here. I know. Part of me doesn't want to stop doing readings. I really love doing readings. And when I start getting into the flow of the energy, it's like when I stop, I'm like, ugh. But there's always next week. You're really welcome.